What's up, y'all? Another day, some more dollars. I didn't save any money today. I DoorDash. I really gotta work on my DoorDash habit. It is bad, and I really gotta get it together because DoorDash just gets all my little money, all my family's money. Like DoorDash has my family in a chokehold, and it's probably the worst thing invented, honestly. And I am not ashamed to say it. And I DoorDash Chipotle of all things, and then, even though there's no delivery fee, you gotta tip the people because you don't want them doing nothing to your food. It's just, man, why didn't I create DoorDash? That's number one. But number two, I gotta really set a DoorDash goal because it's just getting out of hand at this point. Other than that, I worked out, did some cleaning, checked my skull. You ever check y'all skull and be like, I got indentations in my skull? I have shaved my head before, so I know my head's not all jacked up, but sometimes I'd be like, how did I get these little weird indentations? Am I the only person that thinks about that? Like, what's my skeleton doing right now? Like, hanging out with all these... Oh, and how did that happen? Is everybody's skull smooth? Does anybody do skull checks? Just wondering. Other than that, I had a pretty low-key day. Nothing too exciting, just the usual. I peeked at some news. I got a lot of story times, which is great. That I'm always excited to play for you guys. But as far as news goes... Besides Trump, that's all the news. There's been Olympic records being broken by the USA. But the Facebook lawsuit is still going on. I put in my money so I can get my $38 check. There's a Republican debate coming up. If you guys care about that. What else we got? Rudy Giuliani, one of the 19 co-defendants in the Georgia election interference case. I hope they get something out of this because all this case that the taxpayers are paying for this. So, federal pandemic relief, including a child tax credit, emergency rental assistance, expanded unemployment benefits, and a national eviction moratorium helped the U.S. avoid rise of this and that. So is it going away or what? The government averted blah blah blah. So I don't know if it's going away or what they're saying. They said they didn't solve anything with it. Yeah, it was lifted in 2021. So, I don't know why they are doing that story. Thought it was going away or something. This co-owner of a Kansas newspaper who died shortly after law enforcement raided her home unleashed a slew of expletives on the officers during a raid. And I saw that video. That poor 98-year-old lady. And she died the next day. That's crazy. I hope all this has been worth it for what you guys have done. But she went out with a bang. So last week, and I talked about this too, where they rescued a woman that was found chained to the floor in a home in Kentucky, and the man was arrested. She went back to the home the next day to stay with another guy. So I don't know if she lives there or what. It was strange. The neighbors filmed her going back there to live. Let's see what else is going on. On the Lizzo thing, they're saying the dancers that are suing her committed to additional tour dates. Of course, they're going to say, we needed money. I don't know who's witch hunting Lizzo, but she pissed somebody off. Amanda Knox, who was arrested abroad for killing her roommate back in the day, she's back in the U.S. and she's popping out a second baby. Bear attacks a 7-year-old boy playing in his yard outside. Other than that, it's really not. The BRICS people are having another meeting on how to destroy American dollar. The attorney for the FTX co-founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, says his client is not getting his prescribed Adderall, which helps him focus, and he's not getting a vegan diet, so he had to subsist on bread and water with peanut butter. Poor billionaire stuck in jail. Did he ever think about that when he was like committing this life of crime? I always wonder that, you know how everybody's on these special diets and they can't eat this and they need this to focus. Like when things do happen to them, more so the apocalypse or something like that, what will they do with themselves? Let's see. Britney Spears is still out living her life. The Fire Island guy is doing another one in Texas, and people sold it out. People just gonna go just so they can say something. But Serena Williams had another girl, so she's 2 girls in the game now. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah, nothing new or exciting. Let's see. I got like a lot of story time, so I'm kind of gonna rush this. News is not news in any way, so you guys aren't missing anything breaking. Let's see what Reddit's talking about. What was a fact taught to you in school that ended up being disproven during your lifetime? A lot of crap. A lot of freaking crap. Cracking your knuckles causes arthritis. I never cracked my knuckles. Food pyramid. Yeah, the food pyramid, big lie. The whole, just that was the reason why most of us are fat. The whole rings around Saturn stuff. Yeah, the planets, they jacked that up. And I think Pluto ain't even a planet no more or something. It's crazy. Your tongue has different areas for tasting different tastes. Sweet on top, sour on the sides, bitter in the back. I feel like this was some elaborate prank played on my generation. But I remember seeing this in my elementary school biology book. I don't even think it was disproven, like they just stopped telling this lie. So is it a lie? Because I remember learning that too. So people lied to us about a lot of stuff. Instead of teaching us about money and stuff like that, they teach us crazy stuff. That I was going to be offered free drugs all the time. Yeah, ain't nobody giving away no free drugs, my friend. They'll try to get you hooked, but the free part, yeah. Ladies, which article of clothing would a man wear that you find to be trashy or wouldn't do it for you? I do not like them tight muscle shirts. I hate them. Even if you're in shape, I just don't like them. Somebody says sagging, tank tops. Yeah, I don't like V-necks either. Wife beaters, chain necklaces, a fedora. If you're on vacation, you can rock a fedora. Very wide leg jeans, dirty clothes, dirty underwear. Yeah, that'll do it. But why you seeing the underwear is my thing. Let's see what else we got here. What do you wish your girlfriend would do but you'd never asked for? Notice random hard-ons and sometimes just go for it. That mean we'd have to be staring at your crotch all the time. To fully sit on my face and let me die like a man. No, that's crazy. A lot of dudes want that too, but no. It's not. It's like sitting in a chair. If it doesn't look sturdy, nobody's gonna fully go at it. Like, that's crazy. Stop accepting invites to our family events. Listen, you don't have to worry about that with me. Yeah. Let's get into these story times because I can get stuck reading these Reddits all day and I want to kind of get through these. So, this lady said that her husband cheated on her with a 17-year-old. Let's get into the story.
My husband is cheating on me with a 17-year-old while we have a little one at home and one due in less than 3 weeks. So let's talk about it. Now, I will say that I tried my hardest to move through this situation with grace, but especially after learning this little girl's age and not having anywhere to vent to. Yeah, I'm talking to TikTok. So just to fill y'all in, about 2 months ago, he left my home because we got into it. Just a regular fucking argument about, things going on within the home. So a couple of months ago, I ended up quitting my job because the pregnancy has been just really difficult on me physically. And at the time, he had the means to be able to maintain the home while I took my break and tried to relax. But we got into it because shortly after, not even a month after I left my job, he was fired from his. And so we started doing little shit like DoorDash and stuff like that to be able to maintain the bills. But he does have a habit of smoking tree, and not just a little bit, definitely in excess. And I noticed that it was getting in the way of us handling business. So we got into it about him basically like neglecting the things that we needed at home, his maturity not really evolving, and his priorities not being in the right spot. So his justification to that was, well, I'm still young and I want to be able to live a little bit. Now here's the thing, I used to smoke. Okay, I used to smoke, and I used to smoke heavy, but I never allowed it to get in the way of me handling the things that were important. So it kind of just didn't resonate with me. So that same night, he ended up leaving the home because he said, we argue too much. Like, married couples don't argue. Now, to say too much, look, we've been through a lot of shit, and he's done me wrong. And so, yeah, I still have a little bit of resentment that I was working through. But too much, I wouldn't say that was the case. What that argument and that justification bullshit comes down to is just purely the fact that I was holding him to a standard that he just wasn't ready to really take on. So fast forward a couple of months, obviously like a week ago, he's texting me, I still want to spend my life with you, I love you so much, and then he comes to my home when he's seeing our daughter, and he tells our daughter that he's gonna be coming home soon. So I don't know about anybody else, but when you are so deeply involved and you love somebody so much, you've been through so much with them, like me personally, I feel like I have a soul tie with this man, and for some reason when he said those things to our daughter, the next couple of days, I could not sleep. I was having dreams about the things that he's done, the things that I feel like are just on my heart. And what's fucked up about it is that I ended up dreaming about the same exact shit that he was doing, that I end up finding out about. So obviously he's filling my ear with all this bullshit. And I just asked him, like, he pops up one day and I'm like, yo, can I go through your phone real quick? Can I see your phone? And like I said, he's done me dirty so many fucking times over the past 5.5 years that, like, he knows what I look for. When I'm looking for something in his phone, he knows what I was looking for, and he'll go back and he'll get rid of it. But this time, he missed one message on a do not disturb fucking text message that had the number not saved. So obviously, I recovered those motherfucking messages with quickness, boy. And obviously, it's all right there. Him buttering her up, they're meeting up, and come to fucking find out, I gotta stop calling her a little girl because in his justification, she's about to be 18. She works under his fucking mother at McDonald's. They've been meeting up at this McDonald's that he takes my daughter to all the fucking time. Yeah. But what bothers me the most, and y'all might not get this, but what bothers me the most is that this man knows about everything that I've been through in the past as far as, like, being, like, groomed by grown-ass men. And y'all might not find this to be, like, fucking too much. Like, you might not really understand. But this man is about to be 22 years old, and this girl just turned 17. Just turned 17 in fucking March. So, yeah, it's about 5 years, and so that's what baffles me the most. I tried to let it go because, like I said, he's done me so dirty, it kind of was in my heart that it was gonna happen anyways. But with a fucking minor that's still in high school. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And I even asked him because, like I said, we have a little girl, and I asked him, how would you feel if your 17-year-old daughter was talking to a 22-year-old man? Not only just a 22-year-old man, but a man that's married and has 2 fucking children. How would you feel? Well, it's not that bad. Oh, okay. But he's talking about taking me to court and all this shit about our children. Yeah, go ahead. Fucking groomer. Go ahead.
I think that's so sad when men cheat on women when they're pregnant and when women have difficult pregnancies. It's definitely hard to do that. To deal with that. And when you're sick and trying to work, you don't realize how much it takes out of you. And I never can respect a man that cheats on a woman or makes a woman feel bad because they can't work during pregnancy. Like, have you know, Kuth, like, it's crazy.
So, treat your job mentally like a whore. Use it for what it's worth. Use it to finance your life. Use it for all the perks that it comes with, and then have an exit strategy. And don't get to thinking that this whore of a job is going to be loyal to you.
I know that's right, baby. Because jobs is not loyal.
Talk about what? I just told you. He gave me something. I'm here to clear everything up. I'm trying to come to you properly and everything because he don't want to answer his messages or anything. So I'm coming to you right now to let you know that I got checked and I got something. So we need to clear it all up right now.
You have the wrong apartment.
No, I don't got the wrong apartment. I've been to this place plenty of times, honey.
Well, you
been here plenty of times. Yes, I've been here plenty of times.
How many times?
Lots of times. Trust me. I've been here lots of times. Okay? So, all I really need to know is how we get this resolved. Because now I got something. Because you want to play around with everybody. And I really don't got no time for this, okay?
Keep saying he a lot.
Yeah, your man. You know who I'm talking about. Your man. Yes, you do. I know it. I've seen it in the pictures. I've seen it. You know what man I'm talking about, okay?
No, I don't.
Yes.
Pictures.
So that's not your man. That's not your man. AJ isn't your man. You're not your man. You know who I'm talking about. Let's not play here.
You are delusional. Why would he choose you when he has me?
Obviously, he ain't happy with it.
Seriously.
You're not happy with it, obviously, or we wouldn't be in the... You tell me. You gave me something.
No,
yes,
I ain't gave you nothing. What you
yes,
talking about?
You did.
Why you open the door?
You're not going to forget. Don't forget. Now I got this. We're not going to forget nothing. I went to my doctor, and now I got it. And it only came from you. Because you're the only person I've been messing with.
No, you can't.
We can go get checked right now.
No, I don't need
No, not
come to me. Who are you? You can't be standing in front of the door.
I'm not leaving.
Leave, bro. Look, I'm
You need to go.
Women, man.
I don't care what you say.
Leave, bro. She just told you this is her problem.
Is this going to be
her problem.
me? I'm calling the cops.
Yes. You
Go.
see,
Oh, no. I don't care.
Look, she got it. I got it, but look.
Handle that.
Look, you got
You want to stay with him.
What are you
I
here for?
just gave you this information.
What information? You didn't
But
bring
if
nothing to
you
show. What information of what? What are you talking
My
about?
doctor just told me you gave me something.
What doctor?
So I let y'all bully me out of one of my story times. That's fine. But TikTok 1, Kyla 3. Here's part 4. Guy number 4 was one of those people who wait until after you graduate to say anything to you. Like, you went through 4 years of school and they never really spoke to you, but all of a sudden, when you leave, they had a crush on you the whole time. Speak up. So a few months after I graduated, he hits me up. He tells me he had a crush on me, yada yada. We chop it up a little bit, and he asked me if I want to catch up. On what? We didn't speak. But you know, cool. It would be nice to meet you. Why not? Now I ask him where we're going because I don't want to be underdressed, but I also don't want to be overdressed. So let me know what the vibe is. He texts back and he says Red Lobster. Now before y'all say ew, y'all know back in the day, Red Lobster was the place to go when you're trying to show out for somebody. Now you could say ew because Red Lobster is nasty. And even back then, I hated Red Lobster. I go back and replan my entire outfit, and maybe 30 minutes before I was about to leave the house, I get another text. I open the text and it says, I have a question. Ask it. You already sent the text. This text could have been the question. I sent a question mark. He follows up with, do you mind if I get a ride? How are we meeting up if you needed a ride? So at this point I call him because right now this is just too much terrible news at one time for me to process through text message. So I call him and he explains that I guess his ride got mixed up with what time he was supposed to be leaving. So he didn't have a ride to get there, but he had a ride to get back home. Call me an asshole, but at this point I'm contemplating whether I even want to go anymore. So I talk to my sister and all she says is, what if you didn't have a car? And I'm thinking to myself, there's somebody for everybody. Maybe I don't have a car, but I have nice shoulders. It depends on what he values. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's somebody who's willing to drive this man around. It's not me. Ultimately, my sister helps me decide to show this man some grace. So I go over to pick him up. And before he even gets to my car, there's a toddler opening my door. You know, Auntie Kyla loves the kids. So I'm just like, who is this? And he says it's his niece. So now he is yelling for who I'm guessing is his child's mother to come outside. He's just yelling this from the end of the driveway. She comes down the driveway to get the baby while he's getting in the car, and he introduces us, kind of. All he says is, hey, this is Kyla. Kyla, we're going to say her name is Denise. This is Denise. We talk maybe a little bit more after that, and then I drive to Red Lobster. This is lunchtime, and Red Lobster is kind of packed. So he puts an address in his GPS, and he's like, well, we could go here instead. And he tells me it's about the same vibe, so I don't really have to worry about it. Okay, cool. So we pull up to this parking lot, and there's 2 restaurants. I am very intentionally trying to ignore the restaurant on the left. So I look at the one on the right, and I ask him, the GPS didn't tell you that this one was closed today? He says, oh, no, we weren't going to that one. We're going to this one. All I hear in the back of my head is my sister's voice saying, show him some grace. We go into Applebee's. We sit down at the table, and I'm looking at the menu, and I guess I'm not looking at the right menu because he hands me the 2 for $20 menu. Now, if we're doing a 2 for $20 here, then what exactly was I supposed to be eating at Red Lobster? As we're eating, we happen to have one of the world's most informative conversations that I may have ever had. He actually opened his mouth to tell me that if a woman is not putting out by the 3rd date, then she can expect to pay for her own meals because, at this point, we're just friends. Not only did I pay for my meal, but I paid all 20 of those dollars plus tax and tip so that he would never fix his mouth to ask me out again. And maybe that was his plan to get the meal paid for all along. But it definitely worked. At this point, you probably think that this date wasn't so bad. If you've seen this whole series, you know it always gets worse. This date was definitely over, but not even 2 hours after I got home, I get a call from fraud from my bank saying there are 4 erroneous charges on my account from that day. First charge was Applebee's. I recognize that one. I did go to Applebee's. That one was correct. Second charge, in the amount of $456 to AT&T. I have Verizon. Third charge in the amount of maybe $60 for Uber. I've never taken an Uber. And fourth charge, also to Uber, as a tip in the amount of $200. Yes, it was him. So it turns out that his ride was somebody that he knew who drove for Uber, that he tipped that exorbitant amount to so that he could split it with them. I found all of this out on Facebook, where I also found out that his niece is actually his daughter, and the woman who came out of the house is actually his baby mother, who thought that I was a relative of his, driving him to Red Lobster to fill out an application to work there.
FBI raid at NSA employee's home reveals over 16 million D-pics. Federal prosecutors have charged Hillary Wang. It is believed Wang used her top-secret security clearance to illegally download an estimated 16 million pictures of off of unsuspecting Americans' mobile phones and computers.
Well, her last name is Wang.
My perception and how I look at disease is super, super different. So when I see cancer or the mutation of cells or malignant cells going through their mutation phase, all disease to me is the body trying to heal itself. My position and my stance is there is no such thing as disease. Disease is the body creating symptomologies to heal itself. So for instance, if you get a cold, you start coughing. Like if you cough right now, you'll feel your chest tighten up, and then that cavity wall in your chest will release itself. So if you actually study a cough, it's literally the body breaking up coagulated mucus that's inside the bronchial tubes. So they will, when you go to the allopathic community, they will actually give you cough syrup to suppress the cough back into your chest to keep the mucus there. But the whole point of the cough is your chest cavities basically dilating themselves and then collapsing again to break up coagulation of mucus, for you can expectorate and get the mucus out of the body. So a cough is a healing mechanism. Same thing as a sneeze, Hachoo. Yeah. If you put your hand in front of your face, you can feel wind and particles hit your hand. So they will give you Claritin or some other type of pharmaceutical to suppress the actual antigens that's causing you to expectorate. But if you look at the actual mechanism in the process of a sneeze, it's the body way of getting things out. It's called sternutation. It's the body way of getting out particles, getting out dead cells or anything that's inside of the passageway, and even down to your digestional tract. Then they say a fever. You know, if your fever is over 103, if your fever is over 100, then you need to go to the doctor for you can get fluids, or they'll put you on something to actually suppress the fever. But a fever heats up the body. Not only do it heat up the body, but it heats up the blood, for it can kill any type of bacterial infection that's inside of your temple. So you have a cough, which is a natural healing mechanism. You have a sneeze, which is a natural healing mechanism. You have a fever, which is a natural healing mechanism. Then inflammation. Inflammation is basically the localization of acidic tissues, and that's why you get swelling there. And that's to localize the acids, for the acids won't leak into the bloodstream, and then you change your blood pH and you die. So everything that they call disease, or everything that they call a virus, these germ theories and these virus theories, is actually the body creating itself symptomologies to show that the body is actually healing itself, trying to get not only mucus out of the body, but coagulations, blood agglutination, any type of toxemias, dead cells, all of that. So there's no disease that you can tell me right now where I can't give you a different perspective on how to look at the disease. Like, hold on, this is not a disease. This is the body natural capability of miraculously, literally healing itself.
So, I mean, I agree with that to a certain extent, but some people don't have, say, your lungs. Well, if you smoke and do all that, your lungs ain't going to be strong, and you're going to have excess of things. So yes, I do in a way think about the body does naturally heal itself, but some people have a lack of, like, you know, those cells that could kill certain things, or this or that. So I'm 50-50 on this information.
as a word of warning, so I recently spoke with someone who works in healthcare, and he said that the STDs are soaring in parts of Texas, like Houston especially, and Austin. And he's never seen so many people this careless about their sexual health. Gonorrhea, chlamydia, it's gotten so bad that they're even putting up fucking billboards in Houston to like wrap it up. I don't understand why people are not serious about their sexual health.
I think because it's not like in the forefront of the media. It's like we go through these cycles where sex is promoted and live free, do this, do that, and then all of a sudden here comes the rise of this, and it is kind of the same thing that happened with, you know, back in the day with like AIDS and everything. Like, you know, you have the era of live free, be carefree, da 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 da, all this stuff, and then boom, here's the viruses. And for some reason we live in a society where people need to be reminded that you can catch disease. I don't know why that we have to be spoon fed to take care of ourselves, but yeah, stay safe, kids, play safe.
Now, you know the Shade Room was trending all weekend, so I want to get into the story in case you didn't see it, and I'm going to tag the creator below who basically, hopefully, put an end to all this mess. Now, this is the creator of the Shade Room, and I had saw this tweet, and then I realized I was tagged in it a bunch of times, but somebody says, time to put a face to the evil. And then it says Shade Room founder Angelica, I don't know how to pronounce her middle name or last name, has allegedly created a dangerous vehicle of misinformation in the Black community that insidiously promotes right-wing propaganda, homophobia, body shaming for the purpose of financial gain. Now, those are a whole heck of a lot of allegations. And a creator here on TikTok by the name of J. William J, and you guys know who he is. He goes after right-wing propaganda, media heads all the time, and I really love his content. I actually loved him for a few years now since he had went after Candace Owens, but he did a series of videos, and you can check him out on Twitter by this Twitter handle here with Kim, or you can actually just follow him on TikTok here under J. William James, who is tagged below. Now, he does this series of videos because the Shade Room was sharing some wild propaganda that Joe Biden was only giving individuals who were caught in that fire in Hawaii only $700 of aid. So he basically gathered them together because, again, as a political scientist, I do not discuss political content on this app, and he does a really great job at doing so. So he really just gathered them because, again, U.S. presidents do not just give out $700 worth of aid. It's usually tacked onto a very larger bill of aid, but the $700 went to individual families so they can immediately hurry up and get off the island. But again, J. William J explains that, but I want to get to the comments because that's where all the fun begins. So a person tweeted this and said, that's why I stay off the Shade Room and the blogs in general, because why is your founder in the comments going around and around instead of providing facts and covering more information and important news that's not being reported? Now, J. William J had pointed out the same thing, right? Why was the Shade Room only posting these salacious headlines without taking a deeper look into the story? Because again, they're just a blog site. That's it, you guys. They're not credible journalists. At least no one thinks they are. And again, we've discussed the Shade Room long before, and you can actually check out that video somewhere in the pinned comments at the top. But the Shade Room, again, has been faulted for just being the fast fashion of news. Now, another person says, I remember when I discovered his TikTok, referring to J. William J, and I was elated to see the youth is using that beautiful brain. Yeah, the kid is incredibly smart. Another person tweeted this and said, the amount of misinformation being spread by the Shade Room is honestly sad. I had a conversation with a girl the other day, and her main source of news was the Shade Room. Safe to say, the convo didn't last long. Now, other people were in the comments pointing out that AC Tribula, I think that's how you pronounce her name, is the head of content creation on the Shade Room, and yeah, that basically speaks for itself. Another person pointed out that the founder of the Shade Room somehow has been given access to a press pass, which is crazy because it doesn't seem like they ever use it. But again, we've told you guys the Shade Room is just nothing but a misinformation pipeline from the website to the church, okay? They pick and choose which stories they want to cover, and they pick and choose which people they want to protect. And if you notice over the years, they have been very much right-leaning. And there's nothing wrong with being a right-leaning media source. But what you can't do is be disingenuous about the information that you're sharing. But tell me what y'all think. Y'all still read the Shade Room? Are y'all still reading them headlines? Because, honey, they just about died about 3 years ago.
Shade Room is still popping. But yeah, I mean, $700 is still crazy to leave an island. Still not enough money in my opinion with the money we've given Ukraine. But that's my opinion. But no, the Shade Room is definitely messy. They are the Shade Room for a reason. All these blog sites are messy, but I'm messy. I love mess. That's why we keep doing this. And we'll do it again tomorrow. Is it in yet? Is signing off. You guys have an amazing, blessed day. Toodles.